Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to the Wobble and Jaw Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Please excuse my voice, I've lost it over the past couple of days, but I really want to get my championship predictions out. And the first game, as you can see, is Baltimore hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. On Sportsbet, it is the Ravens $1.55. The Chiefs are $2.46. This will be the 12th meeting between the two. The Chiefs have the head-to-head record at 7-5. This will be the second meeting in playoffs between the two. Their first encounter came in 2011. The match was played in Kansas City, and Baltimore won in Arrowhead Stadium 30-7 on that occasion. They last met in 2021. It was at Baltimore, and Baltimore won on that occasion 36-35 in an absolute beauty. As a matter of fact, though, it was the Ravens' first win over the Chiefs since 2012, thus breaking a 4-game losing streak. The past 4 meetings as well between these two franchises, the average combined score is 59 points. So if you want to have a flurry on the overs, there is a form where they will go over by the average margin of about 45 points. It is tough to say, however, or suggest that that will happen this weekend. The Ravens restricted the Texans to only the 10 points last weekend, but the Chiefs did leak over 20 points in last weekend's thriller against the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens, they did take a half of football to get into the game, because I thought the worst thing that could have happened to the Texans was halftime. Houston were all over Baltimore at that stage. The Chiefs, it was just a back and forth classic, and they were the better team to come out. And it was a perfect round for me last weekend as well. I got all 4 of the games right, and the Chiefs, but in particularly, to really give the devil his due, Patrick Mahomes was sensational. He was utterly sensational in his first ever road playoff game, getting the dub. But in saying that, the other quarterback, Lamar Jackson, played off his head last weekend against the Houston Texans. This is both games. This game is so hard to predict what could happen. I thought the Ravens might have had a slow start last weekend, and I thought they were the more susceptible to dropping a game last weekend of the 2 number 1 seeds, and it was nearly the case in a way. They were out, like they were the worst team at halftime, and then they came out with a brand new couple of gears in their box. You gotta fear what the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes can do now that they have found form. They have rediscovered what's taken them deep into playoffs over many years now. Man, I don't know. I think the Ravens defense can be better. I think it is better than the Chiefs marginally. Bugger it. I'm gonna tip the Ravens to just pip the Kansas City Chiefs. A scoreline, maybe a 20 points to 17 sort of a scoreline heading towards the Baltimore Ravens. I just think Lamar Jackson, while Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT at the moment, I think Lamar Jackson really found that gear that had been missing from his game for the past couple of seasons. So I'm going to go Lamar Jackson's Baltimore Ravens to win 1-13. That was the AFC Championship game. This is the NFC Championship game. The 49ers versus the Lions at Levi's Stadium. On Sportsbet, the 49ers are $1.32. The Lions are $3.41. This will be the 69th match between the two franchises, and the 49ers have the head-to-head record at 39 to 28 with one draw thrown in there. These two franchises have met in playoffs. This will be the third meeting in such an occasion, and the first time they met was in 1957 in San Francisco, and the Detroit Lions won on that occasion. In 1983, they played again, they met again in playoffs at San Francisco. The 49ers won on that occasion, so who was going to have the tie-breaking win and the all-important victory to get into Super Bowl in the next couple of weeks? These two sides last met in 2021. San Francisco won in Detroit on that occasion. It is the first trip to Santa Clara for the Detroit Lions since 2018. The Lions, however, last defeated the 49ers in 2015, but they have not won in San Francisco, California. They have not defeated San Francisco on their own home turf since 1975. That victory for the Lions that came in 2015 against the 49ers was their first victory against the 49ers since 1996, which broke a 9-game losing streak. So it's all been the 49ers whenever the Detroit Lions and the 49ers clash. And the average scoreline, combined total scoreline between these two over the past 5 meetings is 54 points. So not as much as the Chiefs and Ravens, but it is still high scoring when these two sides clash. And I am predicting that this will be the highest scoring game of the two championship games this weekend. And for the 49ers, man, defensively, they're just not as strong as what they were last year and at points throughout this season. The Detroit Lions, they've never really relied upon their defense. So while the 49ers are very potent in attack, do you really want to get into a shootout with the Detroit Lions this weekend? I bloody wouldn't. 100% I wouldn't. And I think the key for the 49ers is Christian McCaffrey in this game. Yeah, he's had a brilliant and utterly brilliant season in 2023, 2024. But just at times last weekend in the victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Detroit Lions really struggled with the rushing game, with the running game of the Bucs at times. I think Christian McCaffrey could be the difference in this game. Whereas on the other hand, the Detroit Lions, bro, if they can find themselves and play their natural playing game, and Jared Goff can sling the ball and connect and stick with his wide receivers, and Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to do his thing, they're a massive sniff. I think defenses, while the 49ers are a little bit more, how do you say, they're a little bit more, I would say the 49ers defense is a little bit more known than the Lions is. I think this is actually shaping up to be a really even contest and a high-scoring one at that as well. I think something finally clicked when they travelled to Dallas and only just lost, and then they got angry. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions. I think they went in to AT&T Stadium that night, just a couple of weeks before playoffs began, and they went in with the correct mind frame, and they nearly pulled off that upset. Well, not upset, but a really season-solidifying victory. And since then, yeah, they've had a lot of trouble against the Rams and the Bucs, but that was some high-quality affairs. They were high-quality affairs against teams in the playoffs, and I think the San Francisco 49ers, they are not in as good a touch as the Detroit Lions. In saying that, if it's a dry surface out there at Levi Stadium, the 49ers, if they do have everything click, the Detroit Lions defense is going to have one hell of a task on their hands. But I think the Detroit Lions are fair income coming into this game with better form, and I'm going to tip him. I'm going to back him in I'm going to tip the Detroit Lions to win this game and get their first victory in San Francisco since 1975. What scoreline? Something akin to a 34-27, possibly an overtime sort of a scoreline, 33-27. Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions can win in a shootout against the 49ers, who I think are in less touch. So Detroit, let's go, man. 1-13. So there you have it. That is my Super Bowl prediction. I think we're going to have a Ravens versus Lions Super Bowl. That is obviously my preference as well. But I genuinely think that this can happen, and I'm going to tip that this will happen. So tipping the Ravens and the Lions this weekend. In any event, I hope your team wins this week. I hope it's a controversy-free weekend of championship footy in the NFL, and I hope you all enjoy the weekend. Thank you very much for your support this year. There's only 3 games to go, but after this video, there's only one more video left to do for the NFL for this season on the Wobble and Jaw Sports channel. Hope I can get you to consider to drop on by and check it out then. Thank you very much for your time. All the best. Adios.